Greetings, my name is Adrienne Reaves and I will be discussing the planning of my capstone project. When completing the training's needs analysis, I was able to pinpoint the target audience I wanted to pursue. Once I determined that I wanted to work with elementary students, looking at the required standards needed for 5th grade enabled me to determine the gap in their knowledge based around weather phenomena, patterns, and clouds. These are areas they will need to know by the end of 5th grade. When selecting subject matter experts to aid in this unit, I searched for people who were knowledgeable about clouds and their relationship to weather patterns, which is where I found Mr. Ofo and Mr. Rousmanier. I also found it to be beneficial to have an overall 5th grade science curriculum liaison to check alignment of standards to curriculum in order to make that learning more meaningful for my target audience. The FPI diagram was useful in planning my capstone project. It was especially useful in reminding me to keep the project task-centered. All of the pieces of the diagram, the activation, demonstration, application, and integration are all there to support the learning of a specific task. I plan to activate my students' previous knowledge by having them look at the sky. Students will see multiple images of the sky with different types of clouds and will be asked to identify the weather they see. Is the day sunny, cloudy, rainy, or snowy? Students will also be asked what do they notice that all of the pictures have in the sky that are similar but not quite the same. This will get students thinking about the sky they see when different types of weather happen. The subject matter experts were key in determining cloud types and linking them with the weather patterns they exhibit. Mr. Ofo and Rousmanier were all able to provide images to help make learning more visual and concrete for students. Students will apply the skills they learned from the SME's demonstration in the form of interactive learning games. Students will have to match the cloud's images, descriptions, and weather pattern with names. Students will integrate the new learning into their working memory by using information to answer end-of-grade style questions, as well as independently demonstrating mastery of identification of cloud formation when given a visual or written description. When completing the HTA, I kept my FPI in mind. I knew I wanted the learning to stay centered around the task. Because of this, I created my HTA in a similar fashion as my FPI. I thought about the need to group students' learning by activating schema first. This provides students a topic to anchor new learning upon. Once their schema has been activated, the students complete the demonstration process where they are receiving direct instruction about the cloud formation types, descriptions, and images. This will be the core of their learning needed to complete the application task. To apply the skills learned, students will play a series of matching games. Final mastery will be determined through a short quiz where students will answer end-of-grade questions to demonstrate understanding. By creating my HTA similar to my FPI, I'm able to make sure that all activities integrated into my capstone project revolve around my learner-centered task. This development process helped me complete my blueprint because every aspect of development from the TNA to the FPI to the HTA all played a significant role in making my blueprint as succinct as possible. The TNA allowed me to identify my instructional problem, target audience, and SMEs. Using the FPI in relationship to the TNA, I was able to determine the knowledge gap in student learning and begin to think about media assets that could be used to address this learning gap. The HTA then allowed me to determine how I want the media assets to be utilized by my students. Completing all parts of the development process made it easier to create a blueprint that is not overly wordy and gets to the point of what my project is about.